they should be listening and watching the World Baseball Classic.
No, we're not interested.
It only happens once every 3 years.
We'd like to be excluded from that narrative.
Welcome back, everyone, to Brobrack Madness covering House of Villains Season 3. We're talking about Episode 4. My name is Craig.
And I'm Juan.
Yeah,
this is becoming now a new thing.
I should get my name closer. But we're talking about a really interesting episode. Kind of went through a lot of different things. Some interesting strategy. We even got some love in there. And we got some really interesting entertainment, some blow-ups. But before we
Entertainment from some.
Entertainment from some. All. Entertainment
not from all. Oh, we're already starting on this.
Okay, well,
go ahead. Pooja, what is this behavior?
I'm sorry, I kicked it by mistake.
You can't kick it by mistake.
Then pick it up if it bothers you.
No, you will pick it up.
You don't tell me what to do.
I can tell you what to do.
You do not tell me what to do. You do not tell me what to do.
Or what? Are you going to hit me?
Do you want it?
I don't want
Because you're
to.
asking for it. You're dying for it. Get off my back.
Before we get into that, Juan, how are you doing? You're wearing all black.
I'm doing good. Well, the black is because, my sister, I don't do drag, or I don't do drag well, but how dare they? We're going to go ahead and talk about that in just a moment. But for my fallen sister, thank you for your service. Thank you for providing some of the best entertainment. And what else? I'm doing really good. Last week, I was promoting my David Archuleta DeVal book, What's Not Mine But His, as well as my adventure. But this week, we're going back to Hilary Duff's Luck or Something, which is every girly, millennial girly, and gays soundtrack these days. This is not related to anything, so you should get used to this because this is always my way of doing things. But
the first 5 to 50 minutes will be about
so if you don't like this banter, go ahead and
skip ahead 5.
But there are spoilers. There definitely are spoilers. I'm so excited that Ladies of London on Bravo has rebooted. This is how you reboot. They are delivering every single reboot this year. So the Persian Valley style, rebooting Shahs of Sunset. And now we're getting Ladies of London. I said it once, I said it twice. These shows are perfection. I'm so protective of my people. I see sometimes the dislike on Reddit toward housewives and Bravo people. So I do not want them on any show unless it's one like House of Villains. So yeah, that's basically it. But how's it going on your end?
I'm doing good. Just got back from Puerto Rico.
No sleep. Bus. Club. Another club. Another club. Plane. Next place. No sleep.
And
isn't it great?
I loved it. It was amazing. The weather, it's like humid. It's very tropical, and
Did it rain?
It did rain a lot. In fact, speaking of the World Baseball Classic that we were talking about earlier, I saw the
He was talking about. I was not.
Well, I thought everyone was talking about it, but
I'm talking about Hilary Duff.
So the World Baseball Classic one, I know you know this, but just to let you know, it's like the World Cup but for baseball. So it's not
Is it like
big.
Eurovision for like
The what?
I mean,
But what?
La La Land.
Eurovision?
Is that like the Gold Cup?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, honey, I don't know what you're talking about.
With Emma Stone.
Okay, I don't know. I don't know soccer that well, so maybe
No, Eurovision is not soccer, Craig.
Oh, what is it?
Eurovision. It's like most countries in Europe is how it started. They enter pop artists and original song of that respective country.
They definitely
on to the next.
But anyway, so I did go to the World Baseball Classic game. It was Puerto Rico versus Panama, and it was in Puerto Rico, and the fans were going absolutely nuts. It was one of the best baseball games I've ever been to in my life. It was a walk-off home run. It was incredible, and it wasn't even that big of a stadium, but it was one of the loudest environments. And I've been to like postseason baseball games.
Puerto Rico is full of life. When you guys landed, were you guys the only ones that weren't doing that they do? Because it's a Puerto Rican thing. I don't know if you've had like they do like a clap and even kind of like a jingle when the plane lands.
Okay, that's
It's a-
interesting you say that. So sometimes people do clap when a plane lands, and I haven't experienced that in a very long time. But when we landed in Puerto Rico specifically, people clapped.
Shout out to all our Puerto Riqueño brothers and sisters over there. Like, you know, if you're watching us, because I'm sure we have a
We
lot.
definitely are, and I do love you, and I will definitely be back. It was really cool.
Very cool. I love that you guys enjoyed your guys' trip and you guys had a lot of fun. It's beautiful. And then I hope you guys got to see a lot of things.
All right, well, let's get into the episode. We start off fresh off of the nomination ceremony, and Paul is taking a lot of heat, maybe more heat than Johnny. Would you agree?
That's true, and he actually makes a point of it. I do want to rewind a little bit because we're just coming off of that really intense confrontation that Plain Jane had with both Paul and Johnny, where New York was like, no, don't touch him, and she was shouting that to Plain Jane because she was scared that she was gonna attack someone, which is hilarious. New York always delivering, but you know, I think that it was just Plain Jane said it right, and I recognize and I'm welcome anyone that has any disagreements in the comments. I'm sure you'll probably disagree with a lot that I have to say today, but I do like that Plain Jane clocked it very beautifully, which is like, you know, here you have the bros plus Ashley targeting, big surprise, 2 women and a drag queen. And I'm like, 100%. You know, I want to root for everyone, but like at least give me something to root for you for. And I'm like, you literally nominated 3 of the most entertaining people, excluding Drita. It was rough to watch, but I did like when New York, I think Paul was saying something to the extent of, I was his right-hand man. And then New York also said his right hand to stroke Johnny. And I'm like, that was good. That was very, very good. New York. Again, a lot of my notes will include quotes from New York.
Yeah. One of the New York quotes that I liked was, because the thing that Paul was really upset about was that Plain was calling him a liar. And he's like, I'm not a liar. You can call me a rat. You can call me anything, but it's baseless to call me a liar. And then Tiffany goes, baseless? I don't even know what that means. And then walks away.
I have that too. I wrote that too.
Yeah, Juan,
now I will
show the notes. Can you show the camera how many notes you took? Here's my notes.
No.
It's one phone's worth, one screen's worth.
I have a small little composition book. I have many small things. Anyway, so I'm gonna go ahead and say this though. I don't know if he needlessly took heat. He should have taken about as much heat as Johnny.
I think he took more heat than.
Here's my thing, Craig, though. If I'm your friend and you're the right-hand person of this challenge and you allow for that to happen, I'm not going to be mad at the, you know, like, that nominated me. I'm like,
Buster! You old horny slut!
Well, no one's gonna top that.
I know I'm gonna be mad at the person that pretended to be my friend. And this is Paul following his big brother mistakes. Actually, it's like you're a friend to a certain extent.
Wow.
I love Paul, and here's the thing: I love Paul. I still think he's very entertaining, but he's repeating the same shit as he did before.
Okay, you got me on board with that. That was how Paul played Big Brother. It was very cowardly. He was calculated, he was methodical, and he was very strategic. But for whatever reason, even when he got to the end, the final thing, he could not take accountability. He didn't say, hey, that was me. I have to do this. Sorry, I made you feel like a friend, or I made you do this, but I'm gonna, do what's right for me or whatever. He can't, it's not in his nature to do that. And it looks like he hasn't really changed much. I think that's a really good take.
No, but it makes really good entertainment in the sense that Paul is very, and I'm not trying to be a contrarian to you. I'm glad we actually agree with this. It's okay if we don't, but I think what I like about Paul and why I find him so entertaining, besides his really eccentric wardrobe, is that there's a part of him that bleeds into real life. And you know, I think he's a villain. He's entertaining, but that's why he is a villain, is like the moves he's making aren't coming from just a gameplay. They can kind of come off like, if you put Paul on the real world, I think we would get to witness the type of person that Paul is. And I think his moves transcend beyond gameplay. But I think that's why he's perfect for House of Villains. I think that that's one of the things with, at this point, a lot of people that watch that other show on Peacock, I think it's called Traders.
Never heard of it.
Yeah. So I think that that's where a lot of people are like, well, there shouldn't be like emotions and drama, because it's fair. It's a fair thing. If it's a more strategic based game, then, you know, you don't really leave the room for, like, at the very end of, I was manipulating your emotions to hurt you, basically, in the end. And I feel like that's the thing with Paul, is that I think it's going beyond gameplay and it's going into emotion territory. It's great for reality TV, especially for non-competitions. And I think here's where I have a lot of space to talk about, because I mean, I watch a lot of reality shows that are not competitions, is you need a storyline and you need a villain to drive it. And I think Paul would, as good as he fits in a competition, he would fit in a show that followed his life where he might be the villain.
That's interesting. Maybe I just don't find Paul that interesting. I do think he's a better gamer than it, like a person. I don't know anything about his personality. It just doesn't seem like that interesting of a dude.
I feel the opposite here.
That's
I mean, or like, I can't speak about the gaming part, but I think his personality is really what sold it to me. Because if we're talking about like, oh, a person that's just cutthroat, let's go ahead and talk about recent winner Jag from Big Brother. He was cutthroat. He said, I eliminated you guys. To quote him, semi-quote him, your guys' blood is on my hands. But he's not a villain, because he was just playing a game. And that's why I say Paul's moves transcend gameplay. I wouldn't ever watch a show with just Jag. Jag is a good competitor, no offense to him, but I will watch a show with just Paul, because Paul understands the assignment as it relates to reality TV. I don't know if he's changed a lot. I don't really mind that he hasn't. I feel like in this show in particular, it's very entertaining. I think in real life, I don't know if I would want a friend like this.
Yeah, I would agree. Well, speaking of another person who you would not want to be friends with, Tom, after the blow up of all this, he kind of starts making it about himself, and he starts going right into the, I don't trust Johnny and Paul, because Johnny said something around the lines of like, hey, you know, not that you owe me, but that was the sense that Tom got. And Tom's got in his like, you know, I'm pissed bag, which then Tyson had to start talking him down. I don't know. And he was like, a frazzled Tom is,
now you don't like Tom?
Well, just like, this was just like a weird moment of like, okay, so your alliance did a correct thing. He proved loyalty to the alliance and you're mad at him for that. Like, it's almost like he's the type of person who, if a move is to be made, he wants to be the one who's like, this is Tom's move. He doesn't like, whereas Tyson's like, this is my ideal situation. Other people are getting blamed for the moves that I want to happen. So Tom is not okay with like being, you know, like rogue in the back or like doing things. He wants to be the person that's.
As someone that watches or has watched Tom before, this is very true to his personality. And this is why I say it's very important for some of these competitors to watch each other on their respective shows. This goes for all of them. And, you know, I would like to present Exhibit A, Your Honor. I'll put it up on the screen. But like, basically, in that fight, Paul did start coming for Tom. So that friction, as if you recall from episode 2, when Jackie got eliminated, that got Paul not trusting Tom. And then Paul waived the fact that they didn't nominate Tom over Tom's head. Tom has an ego, as most of these people do. And so that's why, like, it wasn't so random. It was like, oh, so now I have to like kiss the ring? Like, no, I don't think so. Because in Tom's head, he thinks he's playing like, you know, like a master game, and he's controlling and calling all the shots. But, you know, for Tom, I will say, as much as I call him out for a lot of things, he is providing entertainment, and he will provide entertainment
So
throughout.
put it on
all-
the board. Tom is providing entertainment.
He does.
Paul is providing entertainment. Okay, now keep that in mind, viewers, because
Yes, absolutely.
because I think we're gonna get to some people who are not providing entertainment.
Correct. Which is unforgivable in this show.
In
if
this
you
show,
want to go on a competition,
first and foremost, you should be an entertaining person on House of Villains.
correct.
This is
An entertaining
Survivor
show.
where you want to be middle of the road. This is not Big Brother where you fall asleep for
Okay,
the first half of the game. You wake up
we're-
at the tree.
You want to mention it all? Let's mention it all.
Mention it? Now we'll mention it.
Mention it all. Mention it all, because you know what?
Bitch.
Okay,
Let's go ahead and
wait,
say,
hold on.
we've had past, hold up, Craig. We've had past survivors that were entertaining. We had
Richard
Johnny
Hatch.
Fairplay. Yeah, even Richard Hatch.
Richard Hatch,
doing
who was mentioned on this episode.
Yes, he was. And we've had Johnny Fairplay, which, you know, he, again, if your moves outside of a game, because my understanding of games, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I hear this on Reddit all the time, they're never done with emotion. They're just done like, even if it's a cutthroat play, it's strategy, but it shouldn't hurt your feelings. Because, you know, Bravo people are very emotional and like that, like you shouldn't care. It's just a game. It's just a game. But I feel like on this show, we have the good mix of people, and I'm like, and emotion should matter because, you know, you want whatever is driving these villains and drives them in their respective show to like actually show. I don't want to watch a show about people just compete for the sake of competing, you know, like give me all the emotions that you give us on your respective show that makes you a villain, because that's what the whole premise is. Don't just like, you know, don't just exist. Like,
So be cool. Don't be all, like, uncool. Why?
Okay.
Okay, you lost me on that last part, but
yeah, so all I'm saying is that I don't think the show should justify what the person is gonna bring, because I feel Johnny Fairplay and Richard Hatch both delivered very well for their respective seasons on House of Villains. Like they just translated very well.
interesting. Okay, which is fine. I'm okay with that take. I don't think Tyson has very good moments, but I don't think he's an entertainment powerhouse, kind of like some of these other people. He would be someone that would be totally fine being a very boring winner. I don't think he's interested in winning. He's not really interested in being an entertaining winner.
But then
Whereas other people are more interested in being entertaining, but maybe not even.
This is an entertainment show. It started on Entertainment Network. So that's what I'm saying. Could we at least agree that maybe the game for Tyson may have been Traders, where like I guess strategy is more important? Because I feel like, you know, this is the show to be entertaining. I mean, I know that there is a game at play, but if you watch it from the very first season, like we both have, we're getting moments. It's like People from the Soup, like where you're watching and you're like, what am I watching? This is ridiculous. That's why I had said a couple.
How about this as a take? So in Traders, a very common thing that I do not agree with, just straight up. So Juan, please don't yell at me. A very common take that I've been hearing now is no more housewives on Traders. It's they don't know what they're doing and they're stupid and they just bring drama and blah blah blah, right? Maybe the inverse can be applied here. No more gamers on House of Villains. They sanitize the game. It makes it not interesting. And when you have, like, you know, there's only 3 true gamers this season. So there's Paul, there's Ashley, and there's Tyson. Those 3 are probably
New York.
What I'm like in the true gamers in the sense that they have played competition game shows in a
New York has.
Right, I know, but like, listen, like, okay, would you say New York is on the same par as Ashley, a person who has won the challenge, and Paul, who has gotten to the finals of Big Brother twice, and Tyson, who has been on multiple seasons of Survivor, played on multiple all-star seasons of Survivor, and he's won? Like, this is I'm not saying people who have played before. I'm saying people who that's
a fair take. But I don't want you to do Paul that way, because I do think Paul brings some entertainment. And I actually was going to compliment slightly Ashley a little bit on the episode, though not enough, because there's still a little bit of work she's got to do. But I feel that if you're a gamer or you are a housewife, it doesn't matter what your background is. on an entertainment show than deliver. Like that's the thing. Like I get what you're saying and actually co-sign with all those people because they're like, don't bring housewives, don't bring Bravo people. Fine, don't bring them. I do think
bring the gamers onto House of Villains because I would honestly rather have 3 replacement level, like the first boot of the last 3 RuPaul drag seasons in replace of Ashley, Paul, and Tyson. And if you
I
want
won't,
Paul, fine, but
I will
Ashley,
disagree with Paul.
Like
it's
they're playing. They know how the games work. They know, oh, I got to pay attention for this thing. They know, oh, there's probably something in the pizza or whatever. Like,
but I don't even think it's from an advantage point, Craig, because like if that's the case, then how come Paul didn't whoop Jackie or what's it called? Who was the other person that they played?
Right, still won, right? Even that
by 1 point.
Edge, like getting any sort of minor advantage is still an edge.
1 point is not significant. And Kate, as a matter of fact, and when we talk about that, if we're talking about, you know, it just matters, I guess, on the actual entertainment. And like I said, for me, I can respect a gamer as much as I can respect a housewife. But if you're on a show about entertainment where that is like of utmost importance for the show, like you're bringing the villains that were so dynamic on their respective shows, I don't care if it's a game, I don't care if it's housewives, I think like you could be entertaining regardless. But I mean, I understand the other take with Bravo. I still think you will end up losing about half of the fan base for like Traitors if you get rid of the housewives, but that's kind of like a see it yourself type of thing, because the unique thing about Traitors when they were mixing casts was that you were getting people like mixed in different casts. But after reading a lot of the Reddit posts, it seems like I'm in the minority here. Everybody does not like the housewives, and then Vulture article even released that. So I'm like, okay, give the people what they want. And I think it's, you know, my position here still doesn't change. I don't think the gamers have a significant advantage. It's not like gamers have won back-to-back this show. And also, I mean, I think just be entertaining. I think you could be a gamer and still be entertaining. I think what's unforgivable is on a show that's supposed to entertain us, turning it into this like super deep, you know, game and like really force this strategy that might be cool on your respective show about gaming. But like, again, you're on a show with a bunch of hot ass messes. Act like a hot ass mess yourself.
Interesting. Well, speaking of hot ass messes, after this, we move to Christine, and everyone has their own little moments to share about Christine. Even when Christine would talk, it almost didn't really make sense. And it just becomes very clear that Christine has no idea what's going on in this game. She even says that as much. She says, I don't know how this game.
Are you believing her? Because there's a lot of
inconsistency. The only reason I believe her, so this is my thing that I always, if I were to coach, and I would say, act stupid, act dumb in person, but in the confessionals, let me have it. Let me know what you're really thinking. In the confessionals, she's getting a dodo at it. She is getting.
Remember, you're saying she is? Okay, because I have actual examples where she exactly contradicts the scene that she's in. As an example, there's a moment where Johnny Middlebrook is trying to talk to her about strategy when they're thinking of who they're going to vote for, because Johnny is trying to get rid of Kate because he just hates women that are smarter than him, which that's like 99% of them. But when he's speaking to Christine, she's just playing an act, but on her confessional, she's like, my vote is my vote. I'm going to hold my cards closer. She's not saying that to his face. She's saying that on the confessional. That's a complete different person. The confessional does not read, to me, Dodo. It actually reads the opposite. It's like, this person on the confessional is not the same. And there's a couple other instances where that's the case. I do agree with Kate clocking it. I think she clocks it the best, where it's like, I think she wants attention at times in person. But I'm like, there's a lot of inconsistencies with what she's telling other people, including things that you're like, this is stuff that, like, you know, now you're talking about like gameplay that doesn't make sense. But on the confessionals, she's talking about like how she could make an alliance with New York, so it'd be easier for her to keep New York over Plain Jane. And that's a decision that she comes to her own self, which is like the Christine that we see on Selling Sunset. So I feel like she's fooled all these people, maybe minus Kate, into like and she didn't fool Jackie. Jackie was like, that's not the same person that was on Selling Sunset. So I don't know. I don't think she's coming off like a genius on her confessionals. I'm just saying she's coming off very inconsistent between what she's doing when she's interacting with people, Johnny trying to turn on his charm on her, and then she's playing a part, and then in confessional she's saying something entirely different. Like, I'm not gonna let him know. My vote is my vote.
Interesting. I think when the whole house is saying that they don't understand, including her own alliance, and she's like getting just fundamental things wrong with the mechanics of the game, and the show is showing that, I think that's just not a positive thing and outlook for her winnability. Now, she is my winner pick this season, so I am still going to be rooting for her. But it was not.
But if she wins, you've been calling her. You said she's acting like a dodo. You didn't call her a dodo. You just said she's acting like one. But I'm like, if that was her strategy, that's the funniest thing ever.
And then, you know what? And then I hope she says it in the confessional. Like, look, I'm acting dumb. I'm acting ditzy. I'm acting stupid. This is a strategy that I'm employing. But I haven't heard it explicitly, and I'm a very literal person. So, like, if she said something like, these idiots think I'm stupid, but I'm actually know what I'm doing, that'd be fine. But I think you are supposed to say who you're supposed to vote for. Like, even when later on,
nobody knows her. Why would you like even kind of give that off? Like, that's what I'm saying. Maybe do like for all the other people, they should do.
Tell your alliance member, like your
no.
vote is.
Why are you gonna trust anybody? Right now, she's in a perfect place. Nobody's even gunning for her anymore because they don't need to. They're like, oh, she's such a dodo brain. Like, she is so dumb.
I think we'll have to agree to disagree on that one. But let's talk about.
Okay, if I'm right though, what I'm allowed to say, like, kneel before me, because I put myself through watching that show. That is not the same person on the show.
Okay, I
you
mean,
can change who you're rooting for to
if she
the end.
wins the season, then I'll. What do you want me to do? Bow down to you? She was my winner pick. I have faith in her. All right. Anyways, let's talk about Johnny Middlebrooks and his reign of terror upon people. So there's two moments that I wanted to talk about. The first one is his absolute disdain of Kate Chastain, which is to me unfounded and weird. And of course comes from the JoJo Siwa thing, which
insecurities, toxic masculinity. I also don't. He's off the train. There's that moment where Plain Jane does her drag thing, and in the corner, because oh my goodness. Oh, first he didn't want to blow a penis balloon. Oh, I can't blow it. It's gonna mean I have to suck a real one. And then I told you I was gonna give you full unhinged, and I'm giving you unhinged here. The next thing is she's performing with a breastplate. He moves all the way. When I tell you he moves, like if he could have gone all the way to China to be over there, he did not want to be close to Plain Jane. It's like, at least I'll give Tom Sandoval, like, he was having a lot of fun. He even at some point fixed Plain Jane's breastplate. Tom Sandoval may be in many things mostly weird, but like, he's secure enough in his own sexuality. Nobody's thinking anything about Tom Sandoval. Like, he's
GIRLS. I like girls. I'm not gay. I would never. I'm straight. You're mad. You're jealous. You're mad that I can have a voice like this and still be a heterosexual. Meanwhile, you're on Grindr with a faceless picture, sucking dick every night to compensate. Being gay is misogynistic, so I would never do it. I like girls. I would never be gay. It's just an abomination. You're sick for even accusing me of that.
He's a secure guy enough. And I'm like, when Tom Sandoval is like the normal acting one, and I will Bob Tyson, I know that was his sense of humor, but as soon as Plain Jane went in the pool, he's like, remind me not to get in the pool. I'm like, what? Because the pool?
So he does have it.
Let's go back to Johnny Middlebrooks. I have a
So he's not liking Kate. Kate is trying, and I think Kate has a lot of longevity in this game. She is so smart. She's so savvy, and she's always trying. She is exactly what I would coach. It is super nice to people. It's like
you said, if I could coach her. And I'm like,
oh no, she
Kate's
is.
got this.
Sorry, what I meant to say is she is what I would point to as a coach. Like if I was coaching somebody, be like Kate. Kate is
gotcha.
Exactly.
Okay, sorry.
I know you're hot, right? But like I'm agreeing with like 99% of what you're saying. So I understand that one of your favorites is gone, but this isn't my fault, dude. I didn't vote for her. I would have voted for Tiffany to go.
No, all three. I can tell you. Ashley, you gotta get out. Tyson, you gotta get out. Like, if you guys are gonna be providing now, hopefully 5th episode, but I'm like, we're already halfway. It's unforgivable that you have not given us any moment. I could pull a clip from Jackie Christie in her 1 minute stay that was justified because she wasn't playing the fucking anything. But I'm like, but Tyson, you should have had a moment by this point. Your whole personality, and this, I was gonna leave this for their performance improvement plan because I have one for them, but I'm like, you cannot make your personality be someone else that has more of an entertaining personality. You just can't. Like, you know, Tom's the funny guy. Like, you gotta step it up. Like, you know, you had some type of personality in your side gig show where your marriage boot camp. Like, where the fuck is that at? Or maybe you're not that person anymore. But then if you're not a villain, go on a game about games.
Yeah, sometimes I think that some of these people do want to change. Like, who was the Tom Sandoval person from last season? Jax? I feel like
he does not want to change.
I feel like he was like, I don't want to be known as a villain. But then he ended up coming out as a villain in his last episode.
Craig, that man is broken. Like,
okay, I guess the point I was trying to make is it seems like sometimes people will change, and maybe in Tyson's case, he has changed. He has had kids since like he was at his heyday in this show, in his like the height of his reality TV career. So maybe he has like been softened or something. But he's playing a good game. He's hiding in the shadows, and everything that's happening is going his way. So
the one thing that I disdain the most in reality TV are floaters. They just float through the game and under the radar, not on my watch.
That's kind of undeniable from a game perspective. Another interesting thing from Johnny Middlebrooks that I thought was notable was, I think just in general, it's never a good idea to say let's all say what animal we think another person is. I think that's just never a good idea. And in Johnny Middlebrooks' case, I think it's, if you're going to play that game, don't say Pixar characters. I think that doesn't really make any sense. He did call Tom Sandoval Randall from Monsters, Inc. Do you have any response to that?
I think, no, I'm not shocked that that's Johnny Middlebrooks' like reference point. I imagine that's like the level of like
He's the youngest cast, one of the youngest on the cast. So he
thinks a Pixar character is an animal, and like I said, the rest of us not surprised. He also in a later scene is bragging about typically dating models. So that's going to be something that comes up, and reading the dictionary as the last book that he read, which I'm going to go ahead and
it's kind of funny.
Call. I mean, I will say this. He's annoying. He's definitely not on the train anymore, but at least he's giving us content.
You don't like that he's a villain of sorts?
No, I acknowledge that he's a villain, and I acknowledge that he's entertaining, but he's not someone that I particularly like. And like, much like I said with like Paul, but definitely this brand of man is like, what's it called? Just one that no matter how initially good looking you think they are in the beginning, like you lose that real quick because it's like, oh, you can't even blow a balloon without associating it with like sucking a like, you know, that is, I appreciate that there's content that is coming from him. He's not asleep. He's not hidden in the shadows. I think for this game, again, they're being roasted constantly. It's Joel McHale, a comedian. Like, this isn't the game to be a tryhard. And look no further than past season Wes, who was trying so hard to be a winner at a silly game. And you know, it's silly because I'm like, even Wes trying to be a tryhard gave us some content. Like, I will say, at least Johnny Middlebrooks is giving something. He's not my cup of tea, but I understand he's Ashley's cup of tea for sure.
That much is true. Yes. He is not a fan of Kate Chastain, who was on, quote, hold on.
Below the deck.
Below the deck. Who could forget about that important show? All right, so then the next day, the morning starts with a big bomb of Drita and Tiffany fighting. Drita is talking with Kate in bed, and they're just chatting, and New York, of course, is in the bathroom. That seems to be a theme this season. She was also in the bathroom at one point when Kate came into the room and said something, and she was in the bathroom. So maybe this will just be like her thing. But anyways, Drita's like, hey, you know, don't worry, you can come in. And she goes, I don't have to be told to come in to my own room. And then that just, you know, you have two, you know, firecrackers coming out at each other and they're just yelling and screaming and, you know.
What's Drita doing Drita, which she did on Mob Wives, just cussing out here and there. Because I mean, New York wasn't like, I think she just gets very emotional, but I wouldn't say like she was like getting like, you know, matching Drita at her level. She was just
I think that's right. I think it was Drita did that, and I think New York's first response is always like a fake blow up. Like even when Johnny was like, you know, go to hell, and she immediately responds. I think that's what makes her so entertaining is her first thing is, and I think it's maybe even an emotionless outburst where she's just doing that because she knows that that's funny and that'll get a reaction. But I don't think there's ever really like malintent. But then when Drita responded with like, hey, no, fuck you, and she's like, whoa, what the hell? Like well, that's at least my take on how that works.
I think it's never, there's no ill intent. However, New York is, at least through this episode, we got to understand that there is emotions behind the person. So even if she's doing it for a silly moment, you know, she did talk a little bit about, you know, she felt like in that moment when she was in the restroom that Kate and Drita were like building this kind of alliance. And like later on in the episode, she talks about being a loner and like not like ever necessarily like kind of being on the outs with people. So I think that's a fair thing. Like, yeah, she's entertaining, but she also shows us a little bit more who she is and why maybe she would have been her feelings would have been hurt from kind of feeling excluded in that moment. I think she wanted to be included, and she just, the way that Drita's like, oh, you can come in here, it kind of, I think in her mind, and we kind of have seen the way New York's mind operates, but like she probably filled in the gaps of what she wasn't hearing, and it probably was something like, oh, these two are kind of like conspiring against me. So it was kind of like there is the funny part, but like for some weird reason it's like a new side of New York that I don't always see in this episode, where she was very vulnerable, which I'm like, I appreciate that. Now I know what kind of drives some of these moments, but I don't think they're ill-intended, and I think that they come out maybe not in the best way for another person, especially when they're like a reactive person like Drita, and then that's began now the friction of New York and Drita. Which, whose side are you on? I like both, but
I think New York is much more interesting.
I mean,
Drita has said that her strategy is to feed people and like. So literally on Survivor, that is a strategy that some people employ, and I think it is the most boring strategy. It's like, oh, well, good luck eating when I'm gone. It's like, no one gives a shit. It's only like for a month. Like, okay, so they're not going to eat.
Yeah, but
giant burgers.
But if you have really good food, and you know, I don't know, I've never had Albanian food, but I will choose Drita a million times before Ashley, which is like,
well, that wasn't the choice that you gave me. You said which of the two? New York.
Well, no, you said Drita's the worst.
You're saying all those nice things about Drita. You must want Tiffany New York to die.
Well, you didn't ask me the question, so we can move on.
Okay, great. All right. Well, let's get straight into the challenge. It is a very unique challenge. I don't know if I've ever seen something like this, but I hope they do the redemption challenge where all of the non-hit listed people are put into a box where the hit list must feel their face and then assign like, okay, this is, you know, assign who it is to each one. And everyone did pretty well. There were some interesting moments, obviously a lot of things towards.
I want to talk about some of them actually.
Oh, okay.
Because the challenge was, like you said, very unique, and there was a lot of people to discuss. So like the first one, there was a lot of shade from Plain Jane, and I think that you know, much like we saw with like New York. I don't want to put Plain Jane on the same because New York has given us season after season on House of Villains, but she really solidified her spot. I hope if they consider bringing other people apart from New York, they consider Bobby Lights, Candy Muse, and now Plain Jane, the shade that she was throwing. So with Ashley, she talked about like, oh, some of the women here really need a razor because I can feel whiskers. This will come up later outside of this. Everybody felt, oh, by the way, when they felt Ashley, it wasn't just Plain Jane. Kate also mentioned, I can't tell if this is a lady or Tom. So Tom and Ashley were interchangeable by Kate, Plain Jane. And then Plain, when she felt Tom Sandoval, she's like, I know this is Tom because I can feel his chin implant.
And on top of that, her chin is like a monument.
That was fun.
And Kate, with her wit, which really seems to trigger some of the contestants, like Johnny, said, like, she can't argue with men about like not wearing like what's it called, a layer of protection, because she's like, it's so hard to feel. And I'm like, and that's the wit that, you know, you just get from Kate. Then we get to the topic of beards because that's very important. There's a lot of feeling for beards, and they're like, everyone's like, how many beards are there? And it's Johnny and Paul, and apparently Ashley. And they didn't really say much about Tyson, though. That's the thing. It's like there's I think they guessed who he was, but there wasn't really any confessionals about it, which is never a good thing. You could be hiding in the shadows, but I'm like, you know, when is something going to pop up with him? But going back to Johnny, New York felt his beard, and she said it felt like her lower regions, which was hilarious. And Joel McHale was cackling on the side.
When you get a laugh out of Joel, like, I think that's a good sign.
And then Joel, when they were talking about beards, Joel McHale said, "My wife is a beard," which I thought was hilarious. Got a cackle out of me. And let's see. So that basically summed up like the highlights of them all. I mean, I think that, you know, there was just a lot of shade throwing from Plain Jane to Ashley, Tom Sandoval, and I mean, it was just so great. And it was
very good.
Yeah.
I wish they didn't have, I mean, I guess there's no reason to have the goggles off, but it would have been nice to just say like, hey, don't press their eyes. But maybe that's like, I don't know, I'm guessing that would hurt. But that's my only critique is, you know, I guess, because they also had like a bonnet on, so I guess you couldn't feel their hair. But I don't know. It was a really great challenge. I hope they do it on future seasons and even on other shows. It was a lot of fun. And then the winner obviously is Kate Chastain, who wins by 17 seconds, which is very impressive. So congrats to Kate for pulling herself off the hit list.
Can we talk about this non-gamer and how she was like, I probably, if I had enough time, would be able to spend more time and really just determine whose faces are for real, but time is of the essence. So therefore, my strategy, again, as a non-gamer, is going to be to go for speed, which is crazy because New York and her actually get the same amount of people right, and it came down to time. So that's a non-gamer strategizing for you right there. So I just love to remind people that, like, you know, just because you don't play games doesn't mean that you're not capable or that you have some disadvantage over others, especially because I will say this, this challenge,
you know what you do? You're good at building this straw man.
Moving back to what I was gonna say, you know, she did really, really good. And I think that in this challenge in particular, you could have people that play competitions for life, but I feel like a lot of the competitions are also maybe more in the vein of Big Brother, but you don't necessarily need to be like the most physically fit. It's a lot about observation. And again, you can be just a very observational person without having participated in a game before. And
here's my take, and you're gonna absolutely hate it, but it is what it is. So my thing, again, they're playing a game, right? So having played other games gives you a slight edge. Okay, so this is my general take. Okay, the two people who got the same amount of score and the person that won are people that have played games. Traders
You just
and
called.
House of Villains. And
I'm
those
gonna rewind a clip.
like, okay, in counting cards, right? When you count cards in blackjack, right? You're not, you don't gain that much of an advantage. Blackjack is like a 40 something, 48, 49% chance to win or something like that. And when you count cards perfectly, you barely gain an edge, like 50.5%. But over the long run, you start gaining big advantages because you can make smarter and smarter bets. My whole point that I'm trying to say is that even having a little bit more experience in a game gives you the slightest edge. And that slightest edge for Kate got her 17 seconds ahead in this challenge. So that's all. I'm not saying that gamers are the best. I'm not saying any of that. I'm saying when we're playing a game, having played games gives you an edge, which shouldn't even be that controversial of a statement. But all you hear is, oh, that means gamers are the best? No. If we were to have real world and we were,
How would you have
housewives and then put survivor players in it,
Sure.
the one with housewives is going to be way more interesting because
I'm not even
entertainment. Does that make
okay,
sense?
but my follow-up to that is, if one of these people, because I don't think you think RuPaul's Drag Race is a competition, but like that is a game.
It's not a competition in the sense of like
that season
but
was
it's a fair point. It's a fair point, but there's not voting out. The competitions are more
there was an
extemporaneous and more creative. Which if this was a hey, put on a an improv show, Plain Jane would crush. But it's not.
Season 16 was a game within a game theme. Just want to throw that out there. So that was the season that kind of took the circle format. So voting was actually a thing. And then the other thing is, if a person just
isn't it ultimately RuPaul that and the judges that determine who goes home?
Not for the voting.
The voting person is voted out by the cast.
But then if you influence the voting, like RuPaul will only have like a certain amount. Like you could manipulate the game to your advantage. So
I thought it was
there
just
is strategy in that.
People, and then they dance, and then RuPaul says, "Okay, that one goes home."
That's a general, like that's a good way to explain it to someone that has never watched it. But they're trying to revamp the show by giving it like some strategy aspect. It's not as heavy as Canada, where 100% there's an aspect of a game within the game type of thing. But season 16 was very close to that. They mimicked the circle, and they didn't do it all the way through, but they did do it in the beginning, and that really did change the fate of a lot of the competitors, which I would say then requires some type of strategy.
Whoever won the first season of House of Villains, I don't think, she didn't have any gaming experience at all, right? And that's fine. I'm not saying gamers will always win. I'm not saying gamers are better. I'm not saying gamers are entertaining. I'm just saying it gives people a slight edge. So then if there's an all-star season of this show, I bet you that will be more entertaining because everyone will have played before and they know the rules of the game. It's like playing a game of Commander, you know what I mean? Magic the Gathering. You play with someone who's never played the game before. It's not going to be as fun as someone who you've played with about the same level of power and whatever. Like you want to play with people at the same level when you're playing a game.
Okay, but then you're saying that these people should not be on.
That's not no. See, you're taking.
No, but you're saying you're exactly saying that. No, because you're saying
that's not what I'm saying.
If there's a disadvantage and an advantage, like you don't like that, right? So earlier.
That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm saying it would be like playing, like having a game of Little Leaguers versus an all-star baseball team. Like no one would ever watch that because it's just one team is way better or way more experienced or whatever than another or something like that. Does that make sense?
But that's assuming this that's what I keep saying is like this game, while there is a game to be won and that is part of the driving part of it, it's not like the biggest part. We don't need this really heavy game that we have other shows for that. And the thing is, you are kind of saying it when you're saying okay, well, a person's never played this game before, like Tanisha, she shouldn't be playing with some other people that have an advantage, because you wouldn't watch a a game with like Little League versus.
But I would watch Major League Baseball because it's people, gamers who have played, and I would watch the Little League World Series, which everyone watches, because it's
So you're saying
people of a
separate them?
similar group. So I'm saying it's exactly why people are like mad about like, oh, get all these housewives out of the traders. Okay, then have an all housewives traders. I bet you it'll be the best season of traders there has ever been. Put a
No,
whole
you know why?
season-
Unfortunately, the Housewives and Bravo people just get too much hate. Although, fun fact, Kate is a Bravo celebrity and has been. So I don't know. It sucks. I feel like if they've never been or competed, they're just automatically ruled out. Like they're just not capable of doing the same at the caliber of it. But I do agree, maybe the way to move with other shows would be split them up. But this is supposed to be a show where like their background credential is I was the villain of whatever I was in, and that's like the start. And if it happens to be a game, it happens to be a game. But this is the best time to mix them. I don't know if like just because you played a game you get like a pass all the way to the end. I think they are performing a little bit better in terms of like the game, but it's not like by a disproportionate disadvantage. And we know this because in the upcoming episode, when Tyson finally learns who Kate is, he's trying to build an alliance with her. He didn't know her from anything before. He didn't know her from a can of paint. But suddenly when he's like, oh, she's smart, suddenly he's thinking she's an asset to him. It will be interesting to see if she really gives into it or not. But I mean, that's the thing, is I always say just because they're on shows about themselves, it doesn't mean that they don't have the capabilities, even if they're not playing games, because there's a lot of politicking that goes behind. Particularly, I can only talk about like the Bravo shows because reunions are pivotal for people to get contracts to continue to get paid on their show. So people will do just about everything to get picked up on the show. So, I mean, it's a game in itself.
100% agree. Let's talk about the pool party that, for whatever reason, Kate kept saying that she was putting this party on, which I was like, okay, cool, that sounds good. She had the entertainment, which was Plain Jane, who did a fantastic job at the pool. We had Ashley try to make it about herself by taking her top off and swimming in the pool. Was there anything in the party that you thought was fun or interesting?
Yeah, the purpose of it, Kate said she wanted to make a party to gloat about her win, and because she knew that, like, she saw everybody's reactions, they were pretty bitter about her, especially Johnny. So she gave them exactly a reason to celebrate herself, and it was just great. And she did a nod to her chief stewardess like activities when she worked the charter and below deck, and she did great. And then Plain talked to her about her desire to want to do a performance, and I think Plain Jane did a beautiful job. She dressed as, let me see, I actually wrote what her called herself. Yes, as a clown, but she said she was, sorry, I have to find exactly where she calls herself, and I have so much
here it is on page 43.
I promise you I have it. Oh, Plain the penis party clown, which is just such a great, like, you think, you know, Johnny Middlebrooks, Ashley, or Tyson are gonna give us this type of content?
The party penis clown?
First of all, Johnny will be like, not I will have to suck after that if I even put penis in my name. And then this is where, you know, she does a reveal. There's a nod to RuPaul's Drag Race for Lip Sync for Your Life. I don't think anyone in that cast, maybe New York, is aware of Lip Sync for Your Life. I love that Plain Jane really kind of just delivered, and she did a really, like, it was a very RuPaul coded episode. This is another reason why a lot of like the girls, gays, theys are very pissed that, you know, Plain Jane's outcome on the show, because she gave us content, but this episode was just so good and so heavy with her. That's Ashley gets inspired by Plain Jane's breastplate, so she takes out her own breasts and she jumps on Johnny's back. They go back to the room where they room with Paul, and things are getting pretty hot and heavy. Paul says not wanting to be in the splash zone, which was hilarious.
Disgusting.
Again,
So gross.
but Paul is very funny, and I'm like, that's the thing. I think like even if you give us a little bit, like Johnny's giving us, I will say Ashley kind of gave a little bit more than in her first 3 episodes, so I think that's a good thing. I think like it's really good. I also wanted to rewind a little bit because when everybody was excited, or Kate was setting up for the party for penises, she's like, this is gonna be like Oprah, you get a penis, you get a penis, you get a penis, and then she said, Ashley, calm down. And I thought that was really funny because Ashley is very thirsty, but I don't mind that about her. I think that's probably been her most entertaining moment yet. I hope she cranks it up a little bit more. I hope there's like a scared pregnancy moment, maybe a visit to Planned Parenthood. Maybe a visit to Planned Parenthood, but like, come on, Ashley, this is giving us more. So I have to commend you. This is actually better content than you've given us in the first 3 episodes combined. And you're actually kind of waking up. I hope you continue to. It doesn't have to always be like, oh, get topless, but like have fun. Like at least she looked like she was having fun, which is more than I can say. Drita was napping on the bed, but eventually she woke up to go watch Plain Jane. Tyson was in the corner. Again, I think it's his sense of humor, but he was basically, don't remind me not to go in the pool. So that was said. Then she does. She's older, you know, like older people love their naps. It's 8 o'clock while we're recording this, and I'm like, damn, I'm already starting to get a little bit sleepy after this. So, I mean, you went on a trip.
I'm like 4 hours jet lagged right now. So, all right, let's get to the elimination challenge. We have New York versus.
Oh no! Hang on, one more scene. I know we want to wrap this up, but I have to talk about Tyson and Tom. They're sitting down in the room. They're talking strategy, and there's a moment where Tyson Tom declares his love basically for himself and Tyson, and he talks about his T levels raging. Tom, again, is very funny to laugh at, weird guy, but like he is delivering. But Tyson, we'll come back to this. I wrote, your personality cannot be some other person's personality. It just can't. It just can't. We're 4 episodes in. Wake up. Wake up. In the words of Miss Mary Ann Cosby from the Salt Lake City Housewives.
Wake up, bobblehead.
Okay.
No, she's not a gamer, but she knows how to deliver a line. Go on.
All right. Let's talk about the elimination challenge, or the elimination vote. And it's between New York and Plain Jane. This was a moment where I saw New York grow exponentially. So Plain Jane really was pleading and leaning into the, you know, it's tough being, you know, a person like me, drag queen, queer on a show like this. This means a lot to me. I really want to stay. It was a really nice and touching moment. And it would be very, I don't know what I would say at the end of that. But New York was like, oh my God, guys, that's incredible. That's like what a winner would say. I'm an idiot. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know anything. You guys should get rid of me because she's gonna win. I thought it was brilliant. I thought it was one of the best, like one of those, like Big Brother does it a lot, where someone goes up there and says something. I thought it was a brilliant thing that I think maybe season 1 New York wouldn't have done, but this is, I don't know, man. That was impressive.
And I thought it was good too. And the reason why you're getting some of these looks is just because I know you weren't a fan of Jackie Christie, but she played the same angle. Like she really did. She said, I don't know I'm doing.
But not to the same level as New York, not to the same veracity, not to the same self-preservation.
But I'm just saying, like, can we acknowledge that was a good strategy and it wasn't really
a good strategy, but it's all about execution. I think New York nailed it.
Fine, I can agree with the execution, but it's just, or hypothetically, if Christine is like faking it, like, oh, little old dumb me, I'm such a dodo head, I don't know what I'm doing. Like, that's the same thing. It's like, that's the thing, is like, you want to portray yourself in this game anyway to be weaker than what you are.
Okay.
At least if you're gonna be like targeted. But yeah, it was a good moment for New York. I just want to point out that Jackie went with that moment. And I also want to talk a little bit about Plain Jane, because I feel like for some people, and I will stress this very
eulogy. So
if you're not familiar, or if you are familiar with RuPaul's Drag Race and the way that their setup is, there's a moment in their boudoir where they're talking about what drives them. And that's the thing, is like, you know, I think there's a lot of depth and importance to what Plain Jane was saying. Obviously, this isn't the game to really do it, but I think it's like really kind of akin to what goes on in RuPaul's Drag Race, where you kind of give your purpose as to why you're doing what you're doing. Again, this was never going to work with the people that she was playing against, so that's a bit sad. But I think representation is very important. It's always very sad to me to see these Drag Race contestants get drawn for other shows, but always like they give us content and everything, but they're always kind of like on their own island. I wish one day we could get past, like if we could do it with Housewives and gamers, we can do this with RuPaul Drag Race queens. It's very, if we're going to talk about advantages and disadvantages, it almost feels like we're allowed only one on each respective show, whether it's The Traitors or House of Villains.
Nothing to me. That's my mama. And y'all can tweet, you can do whatever. That's my mama. And you can tweet till you get blue in the face. I don't care. She can have whatever she wants.
Plain Jane, you will be missed dearly. You delivered, you ate every single scene, and I know you have a pretty bright future in all forms of TV that you appear. In fact, we'll wrap it up when we talk about that final thoughts about things I'm hearing about you, and they're good. So, I mean, I'm just really happy to have seen another drag queen. I hope we get more, but I hope we get more in the same season versus just one every single time.
Okay, well said. Yes, Plain Jane, I love the way she played. I love that she cared. I love that she wanted to be there. That to me means a lot. That means, you know, she was trying to win and she wanted to do well. So I think that was really good. And the last moment that I really liked about her was in her efforts to kind of plead her case, she was talking to Christine Quinn. And Christine Quinn is just word salad, just not making any sense. And at one point, Plain is like, okay, I'm done talking with you. I think I'm done talking with you. Which the way he said it was so funny. It was mean, but also kind. Just like, I think he'll be successful on almost any other show. But, you know, hey, he's playing a game with a bunch of very successful, you know, people. And maybe it was just, you know, aligned on the wrong side of the house. So
I don't think there was any alliance. And lastly, I love how Plain Jane left with the best shade, saying that, you know, she will see them in the biggest depths of hell when they return back to their home, which will be a geriatric home shortly thereafter. And she told them that she hopes that they get yeast infections in their lady parts and what's it called, pee holes. So I think that was hilarious. What a good way to leave. And it's not the end of Plain Jane. I think she will be in another show that I'm really excited to watch her in. And I think she'll be more well received by like fellow competitors there. So that's what's really cool. The other thing is you didn't drown Plain Jane. You did us proud while we have other people that are drowning. And I do want to talk about that. I know I've talked about it all night. I know I'm hot. Not like hot, but like hot in hotness. I told you, I warned you that I was going to be, and I'm sticking to it. But I want to call for performance improvement plan. We're going to go ahead and we need to see you, Mr. Tyson, in the office. And this is we're very concerned, or I'm concerned. I can't put Craig in there. I'm very concerned. We're 5 episodes. I understand your shtick is competitions. That's cool. Like, other people compete too. And you know what? They give us entertainment. So right now, what I'm gonna need him to do is wake up. I think that he can be a good gamer and everything, but the worst thing you can be in this game is boring. I mean, even Miss Ashley, I will say that she gave us a little bit more this episode than she gave us before. So I'm not concerned about her.
A little bit more too.
Yeah, right. But I'm concerned. I want you to succeed. I want to be wrong. That's the other part too, because as much as I'm being very horrible to him, I don't mind being wrong about him. We're still 5 episodes in. There's still half a season, but come on, you cannot do whatever you've done episodes 1 through 4, even if it's a good strategy, because what it's coming off as is boring. And I don't want to be bored. I want to be entertained. This is the show to be entertaining. And I really do hope that if you can like wake up and give us funny moments and stuff like that, then I will remove you for my performance improvement plan.
Wow.
But for now, we're gonna go with it at least for until this week's episode. So I did also want to bring up a formal complaint that we have pending for Mr. Johnny Middlebrooks. And this is for being altogether a trash bucket. You are entertaining, so you don't need a performance improvement plan, but I'm gonna have to monitor that very carefully because so far it's giving trash, it's giving scum, it's giving good entertainment, but it's giving oof. Now we know why you're a villain, so that's good, but we'll see what this results in. I hope if he does win, he gets paid in like penis cash. Penis balloons.
Cash. Okay. And penis cash is just like it instead of George Washington, it's just a penis.
It's just everything penis. Enjoyed the episode as angry as I have been the entire time.
Yes.
I enjoyed the episode. Just like last time though, I mean, it should make you feel things. What it shouldn't do is put you to sleep. But it didn't do that because they have enough cast to at least entertain for days. So I want to say
Rita is the only one that can sleep.
Oh yeah, because she's older, and I get it. I'm getting there. I'm almost 25, so that's basically it. We just what's it called?
Any closing remarks or anything? What are you looking forward to in the next episode? Is there anything? What's your prediction? Who's gonna win supervillain? Anything?
It's hard to know because I don't know what the competition is. But I think if Tyson was seen talking to Kate, there's a possibility that she could be a supervillain. I'm interested to see if that's going to be the activation point for him because it's not expired at this point. Like he still has time to do something. I mean, I almost lost my faith in PEX and then in season 2, and then we got the last episode and there was at least something. Actually, a really big thing too for the show. So if Tyson can at least do one entertaining thing. Because okay, let's just be honest. What has he done that has made you like, not just like, that's funny, like, laugh?
I can't think of anything.
No, exactly. I'm like, wake up. Like, I could think of Tom. There's so many things. Just as, like, him being on TV is hilarious. Kate, same thing. Drita, I'm getting a little bit nervous. You've given us some good moments, but like, you can't sleep the entire time. But the moments that she has been awake, there are some funny ass moments. So I will say to her credit, so just like, it has to be fun. I want it to be a fun episode. I think it'll be a good episode. They're giving us
it's
content.
been good episodes this entire time, so.
It is. And I think Johnny, as much as the shit that I'm talking about it, and I still stand by a lot of what I say, like, he is entertaining. So there's no disputing that. I just, the villains that will make you that way, they're doing their job. Like, that's what they would be doing on their respective shows. I just wanted to plug one more thing, is that like on Bravo, this is a really bad thing within the community, but I don't think it's just strictly to the Bravo thing. When a villain is on a TV show because they drive storylines, people are like, get them off my screen. No, I'm not saying that about Johnny. I don't want him off my screen. I do not want him to win, though.
All right. Well, thanks, everyone, and we'll see you next time.
Yes, thank you, everyone. Don't forget to like, dislike, subscribe, and if you do not like or disagree, or if you do not agree with the comments, let us know in the comments. Obviously, we have two very different takes. Some takes we agree with, but I mean, what do you think? Is Christine making it up, or do you think she's really this person? Do you think Tyson is entertaining? Let us know about that. Do you think
I think Tyson is entertaining?
I mean, you let me look like the only person that's calling him out.
I don't care. You care a lot about it. I don't care as strongly as you do.
Well, because you're on a show about entertainment, and if I'm covering your show, you better believe I don't want to be like, oh yeah, and that person was there. Like they were just there. They were laying in the bed. They laughed at what their roommate Tom Sandoval said, because like I'm like, you know, he has about as much impact as Bruce, the cameraman.
Well, I'm excited to see what Bruce is gonna do in the next episode. All right,
me
thanks
too.
everyone.
All right, bye everyone.
Bye.